Welcome back. Well, see, Nigeria's information and communication sector emerged as the standout performer in Q1 2025, contributing 10.59% of real GDP, while accounting for an impressive 25.4% of overall real GDP. For nominal, we see that was about 31.63% year-on-year, underscoring its expanding economic significance and resilience amid broader macroeconomic pressures. Well, joining us to unpack these numbers now, we have Dr. Femi Oyenuga as a Group Executive Director, Chams Holdco PLC, a company known for having championed identity management and other major initiatives in Nigeria, including BVN and INEC projects over the years. Great to have you. Good morning,
Fantastic.
Sir.
Fantastic, lady. Happy to see you. Happy to be here.
That's great to see you too, sir.
Always lovely to see your program as well.
Yes, thank you so much. And yeah, a lot happening. You know, at this point, we finally have the rebased data. That's
Fantastic.
For Q1, and we're seeing the immense impact of, ICT, in there, about over 30%. That's looking at it from the nominal side of things. And I know you play, in that sector. So, talk to me. Did you feel this?
Good question, actually. That's a good way to go. Good morning again. Did I feel it? Yes. Because if you look at the trajectory in the last 3 years, quarter on quarter, it actually started 2023 at 8.5%. 2024, 9.25%. So we actually, this quarter is 10.59%. So that's a 7% growth, rate, quarter on quarter, if you look year on year. And if you look at the dynamics of ICT as well, it's not only the fifth industrial revolution that's brought this about, but also the economy stabilizing and COVID projecting and propelling the chasm of ICT. And that's why you can see this success and this number growing. And if you also look at the proliferation of new solutions, artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud, computing, machine learning, all that has now birthed the results we're seeing in Nigeria.
Right. And it almost seems like it's going to keep growing from here.
No, it's a house of motion.
We still see, the AI, blockchain and all of these technologies. We also, I see the report from NIBS there,
yes.
Online transfer transactions.
Absolutely.
That's,
it's skyrocketing because if we're just beginning to write the prefix of the book, the chapters are being laid out and we're going to the body of ICT. ICT is definitely, when you look at the baseline GDP, GDP categorization in Nigeria, ICT is now moved to number 3, more than oil and gas. Oil and gas is now number 5. Real estate sector is number 4, and you find that Greek and other things are number 2. So agricultural play, ICT play is all now moving towards the right direction. So the wave front of what we're seeing is going to be big and huge.
Right.
I'm so excited about what's happening.
And I did speak to Ms. Rani, at some point, and we talked about, real estate's contribution, exceeding oil and gas.
Absolutely.
But he said that real estate doesn't bring in the dollars.
Right.
Oil brings in the dollars.
It does.
Is ICT bringing in dollars?
Fantastic question. ICT is not only bringing the dollars, it's bringing the pounds and yen, and bringing the euros as well. Because ICT is global. Because it's global, a bed of global proliferation like oil and gas, but it's also virtual as well. So if you see virtual, you find a lot of ICT players that are very opaque, even to the economy now. For instance, I walked into a restaurant in Lagos, I found a guy coding, in Lekki, and he says he's working for a firm in New York. So he's bringing in the dollars while living in Nigeria. So ICT is definitely bringing the dollar. I went to Ibadan to eat amala somewhere, and I found somebody just, coding in the amala joint. I said, where are you working? He said, oh, no, I work for a company in Netherlands from Ibadan. So the ditch economy is actually bringing the dollar, and it's going to actually overthrow the oil and gas very soon. Watch that space.
So when I see some of these coding boys, I should just build them.
You should build them. You should build them.
I should build
because
them.
Because they're earning in dollars.
They're earning in dollars.
Yes.
Quite incredible. All right, so, definitely we talk about, investments in most of these sectors. Do you think, or what trends are you seeing, when it comes to investment in the ICT sector?
Fantastic.
Or do we see more?
We will see more. So the government has done 2 things, which I think is quite very notable. The digital economy policy that's still running from 2020 to 2030, and the startup bill as well that was passed last year or 2 years ago. All that is creating a lot of fintech proliferation for us. For example, for us in Charms, as we seek to transform and transit and restructure, we're looking at data as a key play. We're looking at research and innovation as a key player. We're looking at tech, other tech that has to do with sustainability, EV, and things like that, renewable energy as a key player. So those are new areas that are growing. And then we're also looking at the, the BPO, business performance optimization, where you're actually running a business in Nigeria, because this is where we want it to be. Lagos State has an economy greater than Kenya anyway. And so it's the fourth largest economy in Africa, where we have that really proliferating in Nigeria and then to the world. So Lagos to the world, Nigeria to the world. If you look at also what's happening in Lagos, the Digital Institute, the Bridge Institute, seeks to unlock the potential of creating 3 million ICT players in Nigeria. 3 million is actually huge, although we're 120 million. But if you travel a bit to Akwa Ibom as well, there's a lot happening in the ICT space focused on women. So all that proliferation is heading to where we're driving towards. And Charms is actually playing the lead, as you know us, actually, in the ICT space.
So, you're talking about fintech, at this point. We have a couple of fintechs.
Yes.
Quite a number. And I believe, I won't be surprised that there's some still trying to, get investment to enter the market, at this point. So looking at where we are, right now with fintech, do you think we need more fintech?
Oh yeah, we need more fintech because we need more solution. So that's a phrase I keep banding around about me. What are we solving for? What we're solving for is a Nigeria that actually talks to the problem of the 75 million millennials that we have in this country. What we're solving for is a Nigeria that is digitally advanced than even the Western world. One of the things where we don't give ourselves credence to is what we've done in the financial services industry, where banking has evolved from the traditional back end into more digitally savvy banking now. Yeah, we can talk about the other things around, cybersecurity and hacking and things like that. But actually, we actually do digital banking in Nigeria. And digital banking is ahead of what is happening in Europe and to some extent what's happening in the United States. So we're solving for all that as well. How are we solving for health as well? How are we solving for agri-tech? Even when Bismarck is right about the real estate, but prop tech is also an area that we're solving for. There's a lot of ICT that's going to come in the next few years. And I'm so excited about crossing the chasm with ICT in Nigeria and West Africa. We've not even sorted out to be the Mecca of ICT. So if you look at the Silicon Lagoon, Yaba, what is Yaba solving for? We started well with the broadband penetration, and kudos to the Minister of Digital Economy. He wants to roll out 90,000 kilometers of fiber to home. That solves for a lot of ICT derivatives in the country. And then we, Charms, and other people, the more the merrier, we're going to play in that as well.
Right,
so it's quite an interesting, and adds to the GDP.
And looking at that growth, at this point, there's still the issue of cybersecurity.
Yes.
We still have, scammers that take over people's WhatsApp accounts, and they put in bank accounts to receive some of these monies. And we have BVN, we have NIN, but these guys are still getting away with it. How are you seeing that?
There are enemies within. So we can't walk away from that. So these guys are 2-3 steps ahead of technology sometimes. We need to position ourselves at the fountain of knowledge to ensure that at least we're more proactive than reactive. We have regulations that actually doesn't punish, but recreate the mindset. What are these guys looking for? Survivor. So when I drive out of my house sometimes, I find young men betting. And I went, why are they betting? And then someone said, oh, I just won 2,000 naira. I just won 1,000 naira. The gratification of trying to bet, we can actually change it and transform it into positive energy, where a company such like StatusSense, for example, is trying to use that behavior to pipe them into the capital market. They say, well, if you are betting Baba Jebu, you can also bet in the capital market in a way. So there's a lot that we can do. So that will help us to actually change mind and transform
Because that
our youth.
betting addiction, that's another story.
Oh, 75,000 Nigerians bet every day. 75 million Nigerians, by the way,
And
bet every
we
day.
know most of them lose.
And they lose and they still go back and bet.
Right.
You know.
Because
It's a recurring decimal.
You're trying to make a buck at this point. Hopefully you get that.
That's it.
That sure number.
Betting is selling hope and faith, you know.
Yeah.
Hope that cannot be disappointed.
Right. And a lot of people get disappointed.
They
Sometimes
do.
we've even heard of mental issues, when it
That's
comes
a lot,
to
yeah.
betting addiction and all of that. So
We try to walk away from that in Charms anyway. We are very, intentional about growing the fintech space, intentional about growing all the various assets and variables we've put into this country in terms of identity. We're going to smart ID as a component of solution that looks at the educational sector. It looks at the artisan, something like Blue Works. How do you bring them into the ecosystem? You give them financial literacy, financial inclusion, bank, credit, and then you make them find work and empower them. So we're big about empowerment in Charms.
And I look at my kids, and they're younger than 10, and I try to imagine a curriculum that will build them, for this future. We're talking about artificial intelligence, blockchain. Looking at education in Nigeria, are we there?
We're not
or
there.
Are we moving in the right direction at all?
You've just asked a fantastic question. We're not there. 5 years ago, I had the privilege of speaking with some university professors, and I said the curriculum has to change. They are moving, but it's at snail speed. What we need to now do is actually accelerate that movement to fine-tune the curriculum from your kids' age, from 10, so that by the time they get into uni, they have skill set that is core and non-core that talks to the future. There are many careers of the future that has not been birthed yet. So you find someone that's coding now at the age of 10, they can actually be crypto analysts for the future. They can be stock brokers analysts. They can be exchange analysts for the future. They can be pilots. Look at the amount of artificial intelligence that goes into automation now. Those are the things we have to now embed in our future, and also put the culture of transformation in there. And that actually helps us to really move and shift in mind.
Because when my kids tell me, Daddy, today is coding.
Yes.
And sometimes I just feel like, are they really, did
coding?
They really get it?
Yeah, they don't. So how do we bring that
learning?
coding? But they're seeding it. We're seeding it. We didn't have that privilege anyway.
Right.
I actually went to med school, and I'm talking technology here. So I've been talking about technology for the past 25, 30 years. So I'm not surprised I find myself talking technology 25 years later. Even when I was in med school, I used to think, how do you bring robotic surgery into medicine? How do you transform the traditional medicine into, supported by tech and data? We're there now. So your kids, they have a brighter future.
Fantastic. That's great to hear.
And by that time, the GDP will be, we have a Singapore in our hands.
We're heading for a $1 trillion.
We do. Because we have the critical mass. We have the critical mass, and we have the hunger, the drive,
right,
and the purpose.
And definitely we have investors that watch this show, and some of them want to know some hidden secrets at this point. Where are you seeing investors now with cash on the sideline? Where do you think they should stash that cash into when it comes to ICT?
I think they should stash it into future data center for AI. Because for artificial intelligence, you need a lot of power. So yes, it's not a short term now, it's a medium to long term problem that we need to solve for, but they need to put that into data center.
What kind of investment are we looking at and return possibility?
10x, 15x, on their millions anyway. But if you look at an investment of about maybe $10-20 million, you can do a 10x on that easily. That begins to now leapfrog the artificial intelligence supply chain that talks to e-commerce, ICT, that talks to startup, that talks to digital financing, that talks to digital solution, digital skills, that talks to digital education, many, many things, plethora of things. But you need a data center, and we need power as well, renewable energy as well.
Right.
Those are the
renewable energy.
So we're just starting.
We've heard about the power outage,
Yes.
TCN announced. That's definitely a hit, at this point. But thank you so much. It was great having this conversation with you, Dr. Femi Oyenuga, as a Group Executive Director, Chams Holdco PLC. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
All right, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll find out what's happening in the global economy. That's in a moment. Just stay with us.